Hi, guys. Welcome back to the first episode ever of How the Keto Diet Changed My Life. So, before we get too far, I'm going to set up my second phone so that I can actually see your guys' comments on YouTube. You know, I don't often go live on YouTube, and that's for a reason. It's because I can't see the comments. So I have signed on my other phone so that I can see any messages as they come up. I want to start doing this as a regular feature, just exclusive to YouTube. So if you're wanting to catch this particular live, it will be exclusive YouTube live. I don't do enough content to YouTube, and I'm not really all that comfortable going live on YouTube just yet. I've only done it a couple of times, and I've struggled with the format and with the comments. So this is going to be new for me. Welcome, and I'm happy to see you hanging out. So let's start with some of the basics. What I want to do is I want to cover with you some of the ways that keto has changed my life. And then in each of the upcoming features, we will delve into those topics more in depth. So we're going to start with some of the basic benefits that I've seen from keto and how it's changed my life. I would say the biggest benefit that I saw that I was not expecting was keto really helps me with my depression. And when I found keto, I didn't realize that is something that would change. I just started eating healthier. And then all of a sudden, one day I woke up and I thought, how long has it been since I was too miserable to get out of bed? And it had been a while. So for me, that's one of the major reasons why I stick with keto, even though my main focus is not weight loss. A lot of people do keto for weight loss. A lot of people just do keto because it makes them feel amazing. The mental clarity, the things that you will learn about yourself that you didn't know before keto. And that's what I want to focus on today's topic. I want to talk about the things that I've learned about myself through keto. So the first thing that I would say is I want to give you a little bit of background. For me, I found it really difficult to get motivated to try new things. It's not that there weren't things that I was interested in doing, but I don't know enough about that was always my best excuse to not do something. I would like to learn to exercise. Oh, lady, it's so nice to see you. And look, I could actually see your comment come up. That's super exciting. Oh my goodness. How is your day? Happy Friday. I haven't caught any of your lives lately. Let me know when you're going to be up live next, and I will hang out with you. Hello, Deer Creek Homesteading. Cheers, darling. It's so awesome to see you. Happy Friday. So in this feature, I really want to give you guys the opportunity to talk with me about the ways that keto has changed your life, the differences that you have seen. Tuesday. Okay. Tuesdays is when you're going to be going live. And what time do you do that? I'm in Mountain time zone. So let us know what time you go live so that we can all join in and hang out and support you. Your coffee shop lives are my favorite. I won't lie. I absolutely love them. Love them. So for me, keto was the very first time that I was interested in something and I didn't let I don't know enough about that hold me back. My keto adventures, life adventures in keto says I was almost disabled and now I'm full-time employed. And that's insane. I've heard so many people talk about issues that they were having physically that left them partially disabled, and keto has brought them back from that. The inflammation, the pain, the painkillers every day. We don't have to live like that. I lived like that. 12 to 24 painkillers just to get through a day, and not to feel awesome, just to get through the day. It left me on edge. It left me miserable. I would snap at anybody at a moment's notice because I was always in so much pain. And it's hard to explain what pain does to you, but it really alters your state of mind and how you view the world around you when you are in constant pain. And we're going to cover that more in depth in a later episode, because I couldn't physically get out of bed at 290 pounds. And that's a scary place to be when you realize that your weight has gotten so out of control that you can't physically stand on your feet in the morning. That was my wake up call. That was the moment when I realized there was really something going wrong in my eating and my health, and you name it, it was all bad. So 5:30 Central, I believe that means 6:30 Mountain my time. So I will check that out. That's before dinner at my house, so I should definitely be able to make a Tuesday 6:30 date. Coffee date, join us. Come hang out, have a coffee, talk about your journey. Because at the end of the day, what I share for you. I really want to hear what you guys are going through, what you're struggling with, what your successes are, and some of the amazing ways that keto has changed your life. Because when we share that, then other people have the opportunity to see it. And it will be us. It will not be the medical industry. It will not be the doctors. It will not be the food industry that changes how people feel about their health. It will be us. It will be everyday people sharing our story that inspires other people to start their journey. So, absolutely. Michelle says, absolutely. Only vitamin supplements now. No painkillers and no crying from the pain. Congratulations, lady, because that in itself, even if you never lost a pound, from now until the end of time, just to live pain-free is a miracle. It's amazing. For me to be symptom-free of my severe depressive disorder, and it's not a small thing. I don't, just get a little bit sad once in a while. I was diagnosed with severe depressive disorder in my 20s. Now, back in the day, they called it dysthymia, but it's the same thing. They've just renamed it. Basically, the psychiatrist explained to me that sadness is my state of being. It's part of who I am. It's not situational depression. It's not hormonally based depression. It is ingrained in who I am. And I know that to be true because my mother remembers periods of depression in me as young as 3 years old. So I do know that that is part of who I am. And at that time, he suggested that talk therapy would help me, but that's about it. In dark periods of depression, I can take medication, but long term, medication is not going to cure my depression because my depression is not based on a hormonal imbalance. And at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. And although it was a really depressing diagnosis in some ways, it also made me realize that my depression was on me. Dealing with my depression, it was my responsibility. Learning how to break bad thought patterns, learning how to Stop that record that replays in your brain every night of the mean things that somebody said to you or something that hurt your feelings. And I had to learn to stop doing that. I had to learn to replace those thoughts with positive thoughts. And it was a struggle. It was always a struggle for me until keto. And then all of a sudden, one day, I realized I don't feel that way anymore. I'm not miserable. I'm not depressed. I'm not tired all of the time. And that's keto. I can't attribute it to anything else. I won't lie. It's 1,000,000% keto. So we're going to take a look at the comments. Suze! Hello, darling. Hello to the crew. Hello, Suze. Susan the crew said, I thought stopping positive self-talk and reframing are crucial. Yes, that is the most important thing that you can do for yourself, is to stop in that moment. No one else has control over your thoughts. Only you do. No one can make you think away or feel away. They can say anything they want under the stars. People can't make you believe that about yourself. It comes down to your thought process, how you filter those comments. Are they good for you? Do they bring you constructive criticism? Or is it someone just saying something for the sake of saying something? We know that happens a lot in society too, right? That's not a new concept. Oh, everybody has an opinion about everything. You know, if you decide to change the way you eat, people are going to have an opinion about that. If you decide how you're going to raise your children, people are going to have an opinion about that. But the only opinion at the end of the day that matters is yours. How you speak to yourself, how you treat yourself. We would never treat our friends the way we treat ourselves. We would never be cruel and mean that way. It's just not how you be a good friend. So part of that is learning to be my own best friend, learning to be my own cheerleader, learning to be my own support. And you don't have to do that alone. There are lots of people who want to help you and be there with you. But at the end of the day, they can't do it for you. It comes down to you at the end of the day, to me at the end of the day, and knowing that I'm working towards a better relationship with food, with people, with my environment, with my surroundings every day. All we can do is work to make that better, to make it easier, to share that with other people so that they don't have to live like we were living. When I think about how I lived and how convinced I was that this was it. It was the be all end all. I already tried every diet in the world. I was just going to be fat and unhealthy forever. And the sooner I accepted that, the happier I was going to be. And no one needs to accept that. No one needs to look at their children and say, I probably won't see them grow up, and that's just how it is. We don't have to live that. So Susan Cruz says, it's also helpful to recognize the filters that are the other person's negative comments are coming from in order to realize that their comments and thoughts are often reflective about how they feel about themselves. Hallelujah. Let's raise a hand and let's talk a little bit about projecting. Because a lot of times when people have something negative to say about you, it's not even about you. It's about the qualities in you that they see that remind them of themselves. I would say the largest criticism I get personally, so we can only talk about my personal experience, is that I'm too fun, I'm too scattered, and I'm too unorganized. Now, I might not organize my life the way lots of people do. I'm not a lister. I don't make lists of the things I'm going to do. I decide I'm going to do something and I do it right now. Right now. This feature that we're doing today came about because a lovely lady messaged me yesterday on Instagram, and I'm going to put her links all in here for you guys as well, and I'll just quick show you her Instagram page while we're chatting about it. And she messaged me and she said, I'm starting to put out my graphic services. I would love to help you with a YouTube thumbnail. If you'd be interested in that, let me know. And what she put together for me was how the keto diet changed my life. And I thought, you know what? That is absolutely amazing. So this is Nora B. Let me try to angle that so you guys can see. Oh, I hate this angling thing to get it in the camera right. Okay, there we go. You can see her there. Now, Nora B. Now, there is a link for her as well on my page. If you're looking to have any thumbnails or graphics made, I highly recommend her. I love what she put together for me. And you know what? I gave her very little direction. I sent her a couple pictures I like, and she ran with it. And this was the first draft, and I love it. And when she sent it to me, I thought, you know what? I have really been spending some time thinking about what YouTube feature I want to do. I need to get out there on YouTube. I need to interact with you guys in a live format on YouTube, but I'm uncomfortable with it and I'm nervous about it. So the timing was perfect. I decided that's it. Today we'll start the new feature and we'll go from there. I'm impulsive, I guess, is where I'm going with that. But impulsive doesn't necessarily mean disorganized. Look at the amount of content I put out. I'm the blasting queen. I don't mind saying it. It is what it is. Hello, I'm Dori. I never have one thing to say. I always have lots of things to say. And when it comes to content, I feel like for the most part, I'm running circles around a lot of people in this space. So there's no way I could manage to put out that bulk of content to be on top of all of my social medias if I were truly disorganized. Now, who pointed it out to me organizes in a different way. They're a lister. They can't do anything without a list, without, the priorities and how you're going to tackle that. That's just not how I do things. But that doesn't mean I'm disorganized. So when that person brought it up to me, my very first thought was, this isn't about me. This isn't about me at all. This is about how you feel about your organizational skills. Because you know what? I'm on top of mine. I very rarely forget things. I'm not missing making posts. I'm not missing content. I'm not missing dates on collaborations. I'm on top of everything. It's just not the way you organize, and that's okay. My keto brain allows me to store a lot of information, and I find for myself personally, taking the time to write that down, to me, it's a waste of time. That's wasted time. Why would I spend a half an hour writing out what I'm going to do when I can just do it? I could just start doing it and I could do it right now. So Sue says, me too, Dori. My new goal is to force myself to do a live. Do you know what, girl? If you want to break the ice, send me a message. We'll do one together on Instagram. I promise it is fun. It's in the beginning, when you turn it on, it's nerve-wracking. My first few lives, you just think, oh, do I look silly? I'm uncomfortable. I'm talking to myself. Is anyone going to show up? Does it matter what I have to say? Who cares? I don't know. Maybe no one will. But at the end of the day, it's for you and it's for the one person who needs it. And that's how I look at my content now. Instead of looking at a live or a post or any form of content and saying, wow, I hope 1,000 people love this. I don't really care if 1,000 people love this. I care if the one person who needs this message today hears it. And I believe in fate. I believe that something higher than us guides our path. And I believe that if I'm putting out content that I truly believe in and I'm sharing my story, someone needs to hear that today. If it's one someone, I don't care. If it's 5 years from now and somebody sees this video and it's brand new information to them, they're the one person who needed to see this video. I can't create content for the masses. I'm not mainstream and I don't ever really want to do that. I'm here for that one person who needs to hear this today. So, Suze and the crew says, yes, that would be so helpful. I struggle making myself post to Instagram. And you know what? I've had a lot of struggles with posting over the last 2.5 years. And I get it. It's frustrating because what I find difficult about social media is not the social part at all. It's the algorithm. It's trying to chase that ever elusive like. The ratio, the algorithm, trying to have my content more widely viewed. And although I would love to have thousands, hundreds of thousands of people see my content, at the end of the day, what's important is that one person. And when I started doing this, I thought to myself, if I can help one person, if I can change one person's life, then that's it. That's all. That's my focus. And on a regular basis, I get messages from people who say, Dori, you inspired me to change my life. You're fun, you're dancing, your light is what brings me back every day. If I'm having a rough day, I know I can go see you. And yet, on the other hand, that's also what I get the most criticism for. So I want to let that sink in for a minute. Let that sink in for a minute. Because the things that people will criticize you about the most doesn't mean that's not the content that other people want to see. Now, a great example of that is the very first recipe video I made. I was 3 days in. I was so proud of myself. I posted that video in the couple small groups that I was in. And the feedback was not good. Like, the feedback was not good. They had decided without watching the video, that they didn't like it and it was stupid based on the title, and that people didn't have time to watch my content. It was a 45-minute long video about how to make mug bread, 1-minute muffins, and mug cakes. They decided that a 45-minute video about 3 minutes worth of recipe was stupid and it was pointless. And I got a lot of flack over it. And I cried a lot over it, like a lot. And I contemplated, is this for me? Should I do this? Maybe I'm not strong enough. Maybe I'm too emotional. I'm a very emotional person. That's who I am. I'm a Cancer. I live for emotion. Logic doesn't matter all that much to me. I feel things, and that's what matters. But here's the irony. When I look at my content now, and I should actually look it up just so I can show you guys real quick, and then I'll pop back to the comments because I think I may have missed just one or two. So when I look now at my videos and I look at my content, and let me see, I'm not sure exactly how I do that. Let me take a look. I know it's somewhere in the analytics, and I want to see under most viewed videos. Okay, analytics. Okay, so when we look now at my most watched, and of course I can't find it because I'm looking for it, doesn't matter. Oh, there it is, huh? Okay, I just found where it was and then I backed out of that. Okay, analytics. Okay, now when we look at it consistently, because they only track for the last 28 days what your most popular video is, but consistently every single 28 days, my most popular video, and how can I angle that so you guys can see? My most popular video consistently is that video. The one video that everybody ragged me about and said was so stupid and I was wasting my time and I didn't have any business being on YouTube is consistently my most viewed video all the time. So when people ragged me and said nobody wants to listen to you talk for 45 minutes, guess what? They do. They do, because consistently that video is watched over and over and over and over again. It's more watched than any other video I've ever done. It's got double the views of my most watched Dr. Canberry video. And what would have happened if I had taken that criticism and decided this wasn't for me? I never would have known that anybody even wanted to watch that video. If I had given up in that first 3 days, I never would have known that people like it, that they watch it. They constantly comment on it. I'm always getting new comments on that video. And it was literally my first video. I have a lot of embarrassing first videos, but I leave them up because it shows where I came from and where I'm going. And my welcome video, if you guys want to giggle with me and, feel embarrassed for me, watch my first welcome video when I tell people, welcome to Colorful Keto with Dori, where we're going to learn all about the ketogenic diet. Because I learned about keto online and nobody ever spoke it to me. Now I've realized since I was not pronouncing it wrong. I was just using the British pronunciation, because in Britain they do say ketogenic diet. They do not say ketogenic diet, but I still get a little flack over that Dori and her keto diet. Okay. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure that I haven't actually missed any. Michelle says, Suze, advertise before so we can join with you. Yes, we want to see that live. We want to be part of that. Susan the Crew says, love this so much. I agree with that philosophy 100%. I will try, Michelle. I suck so hard at self-promotion. And that's awesome for you, Dori. Now, I'm going to tell you, self-promotion is also a double-edged sword, because when you start, you ain't got nobody but you to promote. You don't have a sharing network. You don't have people to support you to share your content. I have been kicked out of more Facebook groups for self-promotion than most of you have probably been members of. Most notably, I did a really wicked live with Dr. Ryan Lowry, and we talked about the real problem about keto, and that's not sharing the information, not sharing your story, not sharing your journey. And I thought, this is an amazing message. Everybody needs to hear this. I shared it in every Facebook group I was a member of, and I was quickly lashed in the comments. The mod team came after me. They said, what part of don't post your shitty YouTube in our group do you not get? Screenshot her. Post her on the wall of assholes. That's right. You're an asshole, Dori Lynn Marie Sonnenberg. And they kicked me out. And I thought, whatever. If you don't want the content, you don't want the content. But I have no other way. There is no other way to get my content out there. Someone commented on one of my comments once, because I watched several videos about how to grow your channel. And one of the things they suggest is to make comments in channels like yours, right? So, I mean, we all do that. We go around to our friends' channels, the channels that we love, and we are active in the comments. Somebody responded to one of my comments and said, quit begging for views. If you put out good content, people would find it. You don't need to promote yourself. That's a lie. That is the biggest lie you will ever hear. If someone says to you, all you have to do is put out good content and just wait, they're a liar. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. That's not how the internet works. That's not how the algorithm works. That's not how your videos get views. That's not how you share your content. You have to be your own biggest advocate, and it's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. I will not lie. It is very hard for me even to self promote. I'm getting better at it. I find it's easier for me to promote someone else, anything else, a product, a company, another person, another influencer. I find it so much easier to say, hey, this is Michelle. She's stinking awesome, than it is to say, hey, I'm Dori. I think I put out good content. Want to be my friend? Want to be my friend? But at the end of the day, no one is going to invest in your content like you do. It's not going to be anyone's passion to share your content. I'm sorry. I love you. Once you get to the point where you're a big name, oh yeah, you don't even have to worry about that. People will be sharing your content. You'll get thousands of shares, tens of thousands of shares. But that doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen on its own. You have to put your content out there, and it's scary. I get it. It makes you feel nervous. When I did my first couple videos, I won't lie to you, I went to bed every night in panic. And every morning I woke up and I waited to see those comments that said, who's this fat girl? And why does she think she can tell us about being healthy? I was just waiting for people to attack me for being too fat to talk about being healthy. I think partly because I've seen it. I have seen it happen on other channels. I've had friends who are close to me get those kinds of comments. Oh, if this is a keto recipe, then how come she's so fat? Well, at that point, she was down 50 pounds. So you really can't judge people that way. And I was so petrified. Like, it literally froze me every single night. And I'm pretty sure I had nightmares. I'm pretty sure I didn't sleep because I was just so worried about what people would say. Oh, that's so funny. As if, Michelle, you have I wonder if there's a word in there that flagged it. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'll start with where we had. So awesome, Michelle. I hope you catch on. And then it says, LOL, they mostly suck on Facebook groups. And then your message after that was held for review. And it says, I had a really big YouTuber lose her. And maybe it's because of the symbols in the SH symbol, because I typed under my business name instead of my personal account. That happens too. That happens too. I'm going to show that comment. I don't know why that was held for review. I don't know. That makes me giggle. And then Michelle says, and wanton for Facebook, 3 for telling me not to promote on her channel. Yeah. And that happens. Like, I get it. I understand it because I've been on the other side of that as well. So when I had my Facebook group for about 3 months, I had a young girl self-promoting in my group. Now, I did message her because I think that there is a way to self-promote and there's a way you don't self-promote. So had she messaged me and said, hey, Dori, I really love your group. I hope that it's okay that I could share my content. I would have reviewed some of her content and yeah, I probably would have let her post it in my group. This is what she did. She went sneaky style about it. And instead of making it as a main post so that I would get a notification, she started posting her lives in the comments of other posts so that I wouldn't know that the content was there. So when I messaged her, I said, hey, there is a way to network and there's a way to not network. And this is not the way you want to go about making friends and building a network. And her response was, oh, well, you have such a great platform. I thought you'd want to share that. Yeah, I do. I do want to share my platform with people who are spreading a message that I believe in, who share the same philosophy as me. At that point, I had spent 3 months building my group so that, yes, I could support people that I choose. People that I choose, that I believe in their content. And sometimes people will push themselves into groups like that. and they don't really care. They just want to get it out there. And again, I understand, but there's a way to go about it. So I'm sure the groups that kicked me out felt totally justified in doing that as well. And if it's your group, you can either accept or decline that content. End of the day. Either you want it or you don't. And that's all. Michelle says that comment wasn't even telling people about me. I was interacting with her and not self-promoting. I hate to have to leave. Loving the conversation. Got to run errands. Ah, bye, sis. Love you. We're going to wrap it up soon anyways, just because I don't want it to be so long that it's unwatchable. And I'm going to make some promos and post just the promos on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, because we're going to do this exclusively to YouTube so that I have a reason to get over my fear of live YouTube. It's something I really need to work on. So I appreciate your support, coming to hang out with me and make it easier, because it feels much more awkward when you're doing it alone. This is why I don't often record videos. I feel much different when I'm not talking to you. When I'm just talking to the camera, I feel very uncomfortable. It's awesome to see you guys. Have an amazing day. And join me. I think we're going to do this once a week. And we're going to talk about how keto changed our lives. So next week, we're going to talk specifically about pain management. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about why we don't need painkillers on keto and how amazing it is to live medication free. Have an amazing day, guys. And don't forget, share with someone today how keto has changed your life, and you can change someone else's life. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. I love you so much. Bye.